Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy, and today I am combating hiccups, so I apologize. We are going to be, oh, there we go again, looking real quick at the map that we just made, over the last week, the Forgotten Keep East Wing first floor. We wrapped up a decent amount of it yesterday, but I wanted to show the final variants and everything like that we have before we move on to the basement and start to kind of conceptualize what we're going to be doing there. So we'll go into a zoomed mode here. This was the original map. One of the things that I did after our stream was we had this side of the map going off the left. We'll still have that version, but this is kind of like the true alternate. The reason that we have it that way is because when we print on our jumbo mouse pads, the left side gets cut off a little bit. So if we have it like this, it gives us a little bit more room to make sure that, the walls and the doors don't get cut off and that kind of thing. So we had that one. We had this version of the map, which shows the primal fire trapped room that has a little bit more of an indication of what pillars are going to rise. You can see it's very much a maze that the players are going to have to navigate. They can't go through this way unless they huck it and hope that they don't get slammed into the ceiling by these pillars or anything like that. So the safest route is to go around this way, hide behind these pillars as you go, and then book it this way when you get through. So we've got that one, and we've got this version of the map that changes the Roman numerals to Arabic numerals for people who have a little bit of a struggle with Roman numerals for whatever reason. And then we finally, one of the things that I did off stream was I did a variant of the map that does not have that corridor here. It might just be a situation that you, as a DM, switch it out afterwards so that the player knows, all right, this was here the whole time. You just weren't aware of it at first. So it's a way for you to get back to that chamber as needed. So what we're going to be doing today is looking at two other maps. We've got the dam map that we'll be working on if we get the basement suitably completed, we'll say. So if we come in here, I did the basic shape design and got our entrance going for us, but there's still a little bit more that we have to do so that everybody can kind of see the original map. Let me bring that up as well. We're trying to kind of tie it in to what we had above. So we have a couple of places where there's grates. I think what we'll do is we've got the grates here that would kind of fall through into this area. And then over here on the right, it doesn't really land anywhere except for maybe right here. So what I might do is like a pipe that comes through here, kind of like the sewers. And then we also have to figure out what these rooms are going to be. I know that this room over here is going to be our creature. This is like the boss of this wing of the dungeon. And then, we've got things here. I kind of like the idea of whatever was here kind of, melding together and becoming like a little mini boss there. So let's put some walls together real quick. Shouldn't take us terribly long because they're all the same size, give or take. Let's do dink dink. Now, did you not hear me say dink? I said dink. It was very apparent. I hear a yappy dog. We got Luna barking her brains out at somebody down there. They didn't do anything to deserve this. Alright, we're going to grab all of those all at once. Throw them up here. Makes life very easy for us. Now that's a 6 and that's a 6, so we're going to have to adjust what we're doing there, but it shouldn't be a lot of work. So we've got 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. Tell you what, let's just grab, we'll do this manually. The doors are going to be trouble for us anyway, for the sixes. Okay. That one's going to be an easy one. Do need to move that down a smidge. Actually, ooh, I just noticed. What are you doing getting in my way? So that's a 7. We've got 7 up here that we can use. And we'll just kind of clean it up as we go. So we're not going to have the door over there. We're not going to have the door over here. We don't need the crates. We don't need the slime. Because we're going for a different kind of scheme as far as what we're doing with this room. Let's just move everything into place first, and then we'll do some cleanup. Definitely got to clean up. These walls over here are not in the right place. Those ones down there are not too terrible. This one needs to come over. And these ones couldn't hurt to come down somewhat. Let's see. Move that one. These ones need to come down a smidge more. Or we could make those ones go up. That looks better. Nail down these ones here and here. And one last little bit. Because this doesn't have to open up into a new room or anything. This is just a boss fight. Get a key or something like that. Something that makes the rest of the place terminate as, you know, however you need it to. Let's move that over. Scooch that down a smidge. Throw that up there. Same thing over here. We know that we're going to need to grab a door. I heard a doggy up here sniffing. This one is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to put walls up there because we didn't get a chance to look at this before I started working. So this is the way the basement looks. Now, we've already run this campaign, so I've got my own way of kind of envisioning how it goes and everything like that. But again, with the way that we're running things, I knew I heard a doggy up here. What you doing, Zelda? You hanging out under the giraffe? You cool girl? Zelda, can you speak? You speak? You speak to the people? It's just mommy, but you want to speak? Zelda, sit. Now speak. Oh, you're laying down too cute. You're not going to do it. Zelda, can you speak? Go ahead. Speak. Now it just looks like I'm talking to nobody. All right. Anyway, so one of the things that we did, we added this corridor here. So that's not to say that we won't add something a little special here. One of the things that I was thinking was there's not really a cause for, if we look up here, there's not really a reason for this unless we somehow connect it down here. And one of the things that we can do is we could, do the same thing that we're doing over here with pipes or something like that. But what I was thinking of was doing pipes that ran down here and making a separate area. Now, originally it was just supposed to be like a crumbled path that was supposed to be something that the players could use to say like, all right, like you're close to, the exit of this place, but you're really still pretty much trapped inside. You can't do the things that I'm sure you'd like to do. This adds a little bit of flavor to the story in doing it that way, so it gives them a little bit of an opportunity to maybe bust out a little bit further. And one of the things that I was thinking we could do was, if there is some kind of like leftover arcane stuff going on, it might be fun to see like a critter changed by excessive magic or something like that. So like a super giant rat could be in there or something like that. Just, thinking out loud, that kind of stuff. Okay, got that there. Oop, well, doesn't matter. Got that up here. And we just need the door. Just grab this one because it'll be nice and easy. It would have been nice and easy, but I need to get rid of that speeder web. Since we have this wall here now, let's do... You know what? It's too close to the other one. Let's get rid of it. We'll do another spider web altogether. There. And nothing too crazy. Doors all over the place. And I'm going to keep on having the doors open into, whatever new area. Door. Oop. And we'll save it because 96 is a lot of numbers. And we'll do the same thing that we did with the other map. We'll start to text out where we're doing things, what kind of encounters we think the players will handle. I think that first floor that they're on really clobbers them, so we're going to alternate. We'll have some kind of critter, no critter, nothing here. We'll do 2 encounters, maybe something with a trap, but this here will be your little mini boss. This here will be the creature, which is basically like our Frankenstein. And then maybe a trap or something like that in here. And then this is going to be for building suspense. We're going to have some rumble and stuff like that. If the darn thing would ever save. Alright. So, let's get the pipe real quick. You know what? I'm doing it wrong. We're supposed to do the text stuff. So let's grab... let's see. So down here is going to be... I'll move it up here. Well, we are going to keep it here because we think that eventually, if we do put something down there, it's going to be a secret. So we're allowed to put this up here. Oop, didn't need that. I hear Luna losing her mind down there. Okay, what are we having down here? We're gonna have I don't really know. Do that for now, just because I don't know. Call this a trap. You know what? While we're doing all this, let's change the size of these fonts because we don't need them to be quite that big. Gives us a little bit more flexibility to do things. That's fine. I don't care that much. No! I care! Alright. Again, just text, nothing too crazy, but let's save. Brianna, have you been listening? Yes, yes, she yells. What kind of minor trap should we use, and what should this XYZ chamber be? Uh-oh.
Coming up to bother you.
A visitor. Hello. Just waiting. Waiting for it to save.
Yeah.
We need to get you a chair.
I'll just lurk over your shoulder creepily. What are the minor trap options?
I mean, I'm thinking like something like a tripwire that, you know, sets something off, or like a pressure plate or something.
Trapdoor.
Trapdoor? Where would the trapdoor take them? They're in the basement.
Sewer gunk.
The more basement?
The more basement. Yeah, I think tripwire makes sense. Or some spikes in the corners of the wall, maybe. Like an Indiana Jones type situation.
I like that. Spikes or darts or spears or whatever.
I think spikes would look cool.
Let's see what we got. We got metal walls with spikes. And we've got these wall spikes here that we can use. Something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't really like those, but yeah, I think if we do something like that, we'll do some random ones so that we can mess with them a little bit. 30 might be too big. Well, we'll have to play with it a little bit. Let's
Never
do
too big to stab you in the face.
15 feels too small. I don't want them to be like 5-foot long spikes.
Yeah, that looks cool.
So we're just going to do a series of these guys, maybe in differing lengths.
Icicles of Doom.
Yes, quite. Let me move that up a smidge. Is that Luna down there?
Yeah.
Everybody left me.
Luna, come here. Come be famous. Come here.
Come be famous. Off camera.
Yeah, come be famous off camera. The world will sense your wonders. Oh, baby. Come here.
Hello, Luna.
Come here.
And we'll probably do a version of this where we don't have the spikes on display. So that they can be secret.
Sneaky, sneaky. I think the surprise is that they crash you.
They crash?
Yeah.
They crash. Alright, so we're going to change that from minor trap to a spike trap. And then, what do we want to do in this corridor here?
Well, theoretically it should be, if they're coming from the one direction, if the spiky room didn't take, this would be another thing to kill them, right?
No, they're coming from this way.
Oh, they're coming from that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And I kind of don't want it to be that every corridor in this
what if
darn
we do
place.
Something with... Oh, you don't want it all to be...
I don't want it to just be a gauntlet of death.
Fire, like...
Well, we have the fire up top.
Make more fire.
Make more fire.
um, what are some options? I could do something.
Oh, let's look at the dungeon, I suppose. Look at some stamps.
Give him a little, like, water fountain break. All sense of security for murder.
Well, they've got that. Let's go to the castle instead. Oh, I mean, again, the theory of this part of the dungeon is supposed to be kind of like arcane creatures and stuff like that. And we've got, you know, the alchemist who is upstairs. The creature obviously is brought to life by someone.
Could we do, like...
Are you grumbling at me?
Bones, like remnants of another type of creature,
I like
so
that.
It seems kind of ominous.
Maybe the those two rooms, like the rubble room and this room, could be like where the person has discarded the
remains.
Not only the remains, but like the ones that didn't take. So maybe we'll have like piles of corpses and stuff just to set the mood.
Just to add some ambiance.
Hey Luna, are you okay? Are you grumbly? Are you grumbelina?
She looks chunky today.
She looks chunky. Your mommy calling you fat?
She looks a little chunky.
Do you know your mommy calling you fat? Oh no.
Yep. There are love handles on the little doing love good.
Do you want a headbutt? I'll give you a chonk bonk.
The sound effect was not what you think it was.
It wasn't her getting bonked. It was.
What was it?
I think it was it was the back of my chair hitting the. Good times.
Very fun.
Good times.
I'm gonna go entertain her.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't let anybody know.
You're pretty cute.
All right. Let's put some bodies in here. Get all the corners all mushed up, so we'll do a couple of bodies over here. I do want to see them kind of like piled. And big old dead orc. Get a little bit more room doing it that way. And we're not going to do blood or anything because the blood would have been in that room. We might do blood in this room just to see, you know, what we can do there. Let's do some skeletons over there though. We're going to kind of use this scattering of skeletons to help us determine where the rubble is. So let's go to... I know we've seen something that we've used before. Debris might have been it. So here's what we'll do. We've got like this right here. So the idea is that the players can work their way through this if they wanted to. We don't want to use that same one in the same style. Should have done something like that. Just trying to give it a little bit more presence down there. And let's move the skeletons a little bit more to reflect where they've landed amongst all this stuff. Give it a sense of height, because none of them are really landing perfectly. That's 2 on the nose. Put that there. All right. Adds a little bit of flavor to it. And we'll leave the creature room until later. I'll have that be part of the suspense that I'm building for Patreon or something like that. But let's do a little bit of... We'll do something for the alchemist here. So like some kind of, you know, nook where there's a desk or something like that. And then we'll cover the slime mini-boss room with some actual slime so it looks like, you know, it's a good fit with everything. I'll leave the entry corridor for later too. And instead we'll wrap up the slime stuff real quick, and from there we'll go to the Siphenidil Dam and see if we can kind of play with that a bit, get that working for us. Do some fun stuff there. We have those little like stretchy slime bits up top, so we'll probably use those. Let's do something like that again. We can put that under here. That's good. And we've got this stuff here. I think there was a more yellowy one that we could have got. Silly Howly Luna. I like this one. It kind of looks like puke. Okay, and then let's grab a couple of these. We'll put them in the corners and such. I feel like that solves it enough. And then let's do a couple more of these little green guys. Throw on the glove so I'm not messing up the monitor. Change the opacity. Change that. So the idea is that like right around like this border here, we're going to start to see a little bit of like that green color coming through. 10 might not have been the way to go. It's going to take a while before we see that. Let's bump it up to 25. Oh, let's see. Okay. So if the stairs started there, I mean, that's pretty good. Maybe we'll go one more little bit. Okay. I think I'm happy with that for now. We'll do the 18. We'll do the long save, and then we'll go over to the dam, see what we can do there real quick. That's going to be a relatively easy one to do because it's outdoors. The main focal point is going to be the dam. We'll have to figure out what to do about making our 4 points of interest because we're losing a lot of space because of that, but I'll show you in a second. I'm just kind of thinking out loud right now. I just kind of dozed off into the world. So if a DM, by the way, is using this map and they're using it in a way that, you know, they're able to play with the digital and everything, it's very possible that the players see this little open gap. You know, I am seeing, by the way, speaking of open gaps, they might see that there's no walls here, and that might give them kind of like the intention to, hey, let's see what happens when we dig past there. And then we'll have a secret big chamber here with maybe like some treasure, some arcane magic treasures that, you know, people can grab. I'm not going to save it. I don't have the patience to wait that long for it. So just one item. So this is what we have for the Sphenadil Dam so far. I thought it was important to, number one, have a big river. You're not going to dam a little creek or anything like that. I mean, you could. But for the purposes of what we were doing, I just wanted to make something bigger and a little bit more bombastic and everything. The logs that we're going to have here are going to be the main source of how this dam is coming to be. And you'll see we've got the water up here, and then it transforms into this dry bed here. The whole idea is they're trying to, at least in the story of the game, well, the eventual book that I wrote, the idea was there's knolls on the west coast, the west bank of this river, and it was part of their plan to leave a diminished resource for people down in river. They're not able to use this freshwater source or anything like that. They're not able to use it for trade anymore. Like, it really changes the landscape of what's going on. It does change things a little bit differently too, because this river is roughly 90 feet across. It's not a small river by any means. On a map, it doesn't look that bad, but I mean, if you count each of these tiles as a 5-foot square, it's 90 feet. That's a decent hike across, and it's running pretty quickly when it's not dammed up. When this dam breaks or anything like that, it's going to go crazy. There's going to be a lot more water that's rushing through. So the idea is it's got strategic value in doing something like this. One of the things that we'll have to do is we're going to have to tweak this somewhat, because we're not going to have the ripple effect. We're going to, I don't like the idea of leaving it just gummed up like this and just having mud. So what we'll probably do is change the style of this, maybe have like a couple of puddles and things like that, because just because the wood is here doesn't mean that there's not some water coming through. It's just not coming through at the same speed at all. You know, there's going to be some muddy spots and things like that. But for at least now, what we know we can do, let's grab these logs, and we're going to keep on trying to tweak them so that we can make it look like a proper dam. So one of the ways that we're going to do that is with these logs. They're going to be jammed up here, and then we're just going to layer them on top of each other, next to each other, just all kinds of stuff like that. We might change like where some of these things are. Like you see, like the water kind of comes up to here. We might change that to mud just so that it gives the illusion that move that under. We want to give the illusion that not a lot of water is coming through. And what we'll end up doing is the same thing that we've done in a lot of our water-based maps. We'll have, you know, like some cliffs along the side and things like that. We'll touch up some of these things. They don't really make the most sense, like that little spiky bit there. So we're going to make some adjustments as we go. It won't be today, for sure. Let's throw a couple more in here. Part of the other reason that we're doing this is we want there to be enough of this stuff for players to run across the dam. Like, that's a big part of it as well. We want them to be able to traverse this as a bridge. And it's up to the game master at that point to determine, is it going to be a part of their quest to break this dam? Is it they're trying to protect it? Like, for the purposes of my book and everything, it was, hey, this needed to be like this. But that's not to say that every time someone uses this map, it has to be the same reason that it was built that way in my book. Not by any stretch. Throw that on there. Again, I want to have some like layers. Should not be a comfortable walk across these bridges. I want every second that the players, their adventurers, are running across this stuff that they're worried that it's going to collapse. It shouldn't, you know. If someone is making this dam, they should be making it so that it's strong and capable, but you never know. Infrastructure is weird. Let's do a couple more in each of these places. Again, I don't want it to look stringent. I want it to look like there's a decent amount of stuff going on. Got that over top. This over there. I wonder, like, if we can use like some nets or something to make it look like they don't want to I don't want to take any risks or anything like that. Like, I wonder how easily I'd be able to kind of tell that story. See, these big logs, I feel like they're going to have a little bit of a mind of their own. So we're going to do something like that. And this one, we will stuff in there. Let's go back here. Again, we're probably not going to keep things this way, but at least for now, we'll be able to nudge that in the right direction. All right, that's a good start. We'll figure out what to do. I don't know that anybody is really doing any dams in Inkarnate. So I'm going to have to poke around, see if there's anything to compare this stuff to. But at least for now, we've got a nice base. Let's we'll go into these rocks. We're going to switch them down to 15s and change that because we want to give the river itself a little bit of a feeling of, you know, what's going on here. I don't know what I was saying. My brain literally just shut down on me. I want it to feel natural, random, stuff like that. Let's go to boulders. I think boulders will give us something a little bit. And then we could throw these guys. Let's throw them up to 30. Throw them in a couple places. The only problem is, like, the color of this is a little bit further off from that. So let's try and mess with the brightness. Maybe mess with the saturation a smidge. I feel like it doesn't do what I really want it to. Yeah, it's just a little off. Messing with the saturation and the hue doesn't do enough for it either. That's okay. So in any case, what we're going to do with all of these is throw them to the background anyway. We're going to flatten them. And the reason that we're doing that is because we can just take the water again and start to paint over it. We don't want it to be a full 100. So we'll do something like that. Now this big boulder we're going to handle a little bit differently because I only want it to be partially covered by the water. So we'll do around the edges. We'll do another pass. And I'm actually going to lower that a smidge so that we don't cover that other rock. That looks much more natural. These definitely look like they're coming out of the water somewhat. Okay, we'll do this bottom layer here to make it look like this one's coming out even further. Okay, and one more pass with this stuff. And I was just thinking, certainly we're seeing this here, but we're probably going to need some rocks in that little mud bed that we have as well. So with this one, we're going to make this one pop out a little bit with its larger buddy. And this will probably be one of those ones that I complete over the weekend. So not too shabby, honestly. And let's do a couple more of these little guys. I feel like because of how many rocks, well, you know, at this point it's dried up and everything like that. We're going to have some rocks that are more established for sure. Let's do, for these bigger ones, let's shrink them down a little bit. And then everything else looks okay. And then we'll do, I think there's like stones, like pebble looking things that we can do as well. Maybe just rocks. Core rocks. Yeah, haha. That was not intentional. I just started thinking out loud and that happened. And just some scattering here and there. All right, take a look at our little creation here. Let's do another save because 72 is a decent chunk. And again, a big part of this is going to be messing with the mask options, adding the cliffs, things like that. But we'll get to that. I think we'll leave it at that for now. Like I said, we're going to be spending some time cleaning this up over the weekend, and I still have to do the work on the basement of the east wing of the Forgotten Keep. So this will be a nice spot to close. Until next time. Sorry about that. Wrong button. Wrong button. So on the screen, you should see all the places that you can find my stuff online. You can go to www.tellest.com to find everything Tellest related. That's like a nice place to kind of spiderweb out into all the other places that we offer things. Over on patreon.com/Tellest, that's where you can find these battle maps, including their variants, for a very affordable price. You can also see the art that we show off every weekday. Once a day we post new art there. On the YouTube channel, World of Tellest, you can see all the things that we've streamed. We're going to try and clean that up a little bit so it's not just a one-to-one clone of whatever we're twitching here. But speaking of that, twitch.tv/thattellestguy is where you can find this Twitch. If you're watching this now and you commit it to memory, that's great. And then on our Etsy store, tellest.etsy.com, that's where you can get the jumbo map versions, the mouse pads of these maps that I'm making. And we've got awesome handcrafted wands, we've got posters, we've got books, we've got games, we've got art books. There's a little bit of everything for everybody there. And then we also have Tales of Tellest, Tails of Tellest, which is Rihanna's TikTok channel for our dogs. So if you heard us chatting about the dogs earlier, you can see the kind of shenanigans that they get into on the daily. But we will leave it at that for now. I'm going to wrap this up, and then we'll probably be quiet for the rest of this week. But then on Monday, we will be back with Talking Tellest, unless I find a game that I like doing online on the stream. So we'll see. But until next time, thank you very much, and I'll miss you.